My name is Sarah Uisulolu Kennedy, and I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, was born and raised there. And one of the interesting things about my family is that we are distantly related to JFK and kind of the Camelot Kennedys. In my life, I'm kind of a nomad. I travel quite a bit, and I've lived all over Europe. And I've also lived on the East Coast in North Carolina and certainly California. And so North Carolina, I had some really great experiences and some great learning experiences as well during my time there. When I lived in North Carolina, 17 tornadoes came through Raleigh, North Carolina. Oh. And they destroyed a lot of the area. And I, fortunately, was not impacted. But people I knew were. And so people right after the tornadoes were reaching out on Facebook and other social media and saying, help, 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 we need help. Sure. So I was out there helping to clean up, and as I mentioned about the oak trees, you can just imagine the devastation and trees down and all kinds of stuff. So we were out helping to clean up, and then one of the trees that we were nearby was damaged and came down. And it was a tree that was probably about 3 stories tall, and if you put your arms around kind of like a basketball hoop as big as you possibly could, that's probably about as large, as thick as the tree was, and it came down and it fell on me. And as it was falling, it first fell on my head, and then I tried to get out from under it, but at this point I had a severe concussion, so it was challenging, and I knew I was probably going to die if it fell directly on me. So as it hit my shoulder and then my back and it went down, it was slow falling. I hip checked it to try and propel myself away from the tree. And what the doctors say is that probably saved my life, but it also destroyed my pelvic bone. And so when the tree and I then hit the ground, fortunately it wasn't ground Sarah tree. Instead, it was almost as if the tree and I were cuddled as close as possible, and it was up against my back. And it rubbed me so hard that some of my clothes didn't exist anymore. That was the impact of it. And as I was laying on the side, I knew I was hurt, and everybody around said, we're going to call an ambulance. And I said, no, 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 that will cost a lot of money. I know I need to go to the hospital. I'll have one of you drive me. And I was having such bad pain in my lower back. And I thought, if I can just rotate from my side onto my back, I will feel like $1 million. And I went to do that, and my legs wouldn't work. And that's when I realized I was paralyzed, and I needed help. It turned out that my pelvis, which is a very important bone in your body, it was broken in 7 places, and then I also really damaged part of my spine from the accident. And at the time, they never thought I'd walk again. And but I was just really, really thankful to be alive. So even though I was looking at all these crummy things, the alternative of me being under the tree and not being around anymore, I felt like I was in a much better place. But as all the doctors joked about, they said, you are the example of no good deed goes unpunished.